watching your favorite videos on YouTube. In fact, computers have had a much greater impact on our societies than just schoolwork, communication, and entertainment. In the media industry, computers made a huge difference in TV programs, radio, and movies. Editing, voice mixing, sound tracking, animation, and graphics. None of these can be done efficiently without the help of computers. In the business world, companies use computer information systems to store, organize, and analyze data. Emails and video conferences are major communication tools for businesses. Computers also play a vital role in manufacturing. For example, products are designed with the help of a computer-aided design, or CAD software. Many manufacturing processes, as well as quality control, are governed by computers. One thing is for sure, computers are a vital part of our lives. They have permanently changed our society and will continue to impact us throughout the future.
Today, we are going to talk about the different types of computers, find out how they work, and learn how to set up and take care of the computers.
Types of computers.
Microcomputers, different from those giant mainframes and supercomputers, are designed for individuals. In fact, the microcomputer is often called the personal computer or PC, meaning computers built for general use by a single person. For example, desktops and laptops are the most commonly seen microcomputers. Some newer devices, such as smartphones and tablets, also belong to the family of microcomputers. A desktop is designed for regular use at a fixed location. You can see them everywhere, at home, at school, and at the office. Compared to portable computers, they usually offer more power and storage. Best of all, they are usually sold at a less expensive price. A laptop, a notebook, or a portable computer, whatever you like to call it, is a compact computer device designed for mobile use. The word laptop indicates it is small and light enough to use on the lap. It has a rechargeable battery, so you can even operate the computer without it connected to an outlet when necessary. Almost all laptops come with a touchpad, which means you do not need a mouse to operate your computer. That saves a lot of workspace too. These pocket-sized devices are called smartphones. They are primarily mobile telephones, but they also run computer programs. Or you could say they are small computers with the function of a cell phone. Either way, they are the new generation multi-devices. They are not just simply a phone. When using this small device, you are able to check the weather, listen to music, surf the internet, and so on, anywhere you go. New technologies keep adding more and more functions to the list, watching TV, reading books, and even video calling. The new generation of smartphones has realized true multitasking. You can use the GPS function and still talk with your friends at the same time. What is a tablet PC? It is basically a smaller version of a laptop. Tablet PCs do not have a keyboard, but they rely on touchscreens or handwriting recognition technology for input. They were named tablet because they look similar to the flat stones ancient civilizations used for writing. Because of the size, the tablet PC certainly has its advantage on mobility. They allow people to be able to read, work, and entertain anytime and anywhere.
Okay, so the first blank was what? Microcomputers, different from those giant mainframes, and supercomputers are designed for individuals. So what do we call that?
PC for personal.
Personal computer or PC. So all of these are what? Personal computers, right? Yes. And so number two, what are the two different types of personal computers?
Desktop.
So most of y'all have laptops, right? Would a Chromebook be considered desktop or a laptop?
Laptop.
It's a laptop. You can put it in your lap. Okay, I think that was the only two on that. So everybody has a computer. If you have a phone, you have a computer, right?
Yeah, but it's not really a phone.
It's a computer, right? Even cars have computers, don't they?
Yeah, a lot
They
of.
have lots of computers, but do they still wreck?
Yeah,
They still have lots of wrecks every year. Why? There's a computer running it.
computers aren't perfect,
There are self-driving cars,
but they've had errors before. Everything isn't perfect.
but it's the operator's error, right?
Yep.
You still made a mistake, just like, you can make a mistake on a computer. So they're not, they call them smartphones, but they're not smarter than we are they?
No,
No.
they're just more consistent.
They're not smarter as them. So, we can do all kinds of things on our phones now.
Computer hardware. Input and output devices.
Just like human beings, computers communicate through receiving and sending messages. We refer to those message receiving components as input devices and those which send messages as output devices. Input devices are anything we use to input data into a computer to tell it what to do. They can be keyboards, laptop touchpads, and mouses. The keyboard is a major computer input device. Despite differences in layouts and designs, all keyboards are made up of the main typing area, the function keys, and the control keys. Most desktop and some larger laptop computer keyboards contain a 10-key number pad to input numeric data. Laptop keyboards, however, do not usually include the number pad. The mouse is the most common pointing device used with computers. It is named mouse because, well, it is shaped somewhat like a small animal. Unlike the old-fashioned mechanical mouse, which uses an internal rubber ball, the optical mouse makes use of light-emitting diode, or LED, to detect movements. Although the mouse is easy to use, it requires some desk space to move around. Sometimes you just do not have this luxury. Because of this, on laptops, you can usually find a substitute for the mouse, the touchpad. Like a mouse, a touchpad is a pointing device. It features a tactile sensor, which can translate the motion of your fingers to movement on screen. Tablet PCs and some smartphones also use the tactile sensor technology to recognize users' input. Monitors, speakers, headphones, and printers are examples of output devices because the computer sends messages to us through these devices. A monitor, also called a display, is the most important output device of a computer. The most common monitors nowadays are made of a liquid crystal display, or LCD. Recently, the lighter, thinner LED monitors have become popular. LED monitors take advantage of the light-emitting diodes technology, which provides better quality images. But what makes up the image on the screen? Information on a monitor is made up of thousands of tiny pixels. A pixel represents a single colored dot on the screen. A number of pixels together creates the graphic or image which appears on your monitor. Pixels are arranged horizontally and vertically and are made up of 3 dots colored red, green, or blue. The resolution of a display is represented by the number of pixels across the screen and the number of pixels down the screen. As an example, a typical 20-inch monitor has a 1600 by 900 resolution, meaning it has 1600 pixels by width and 900 pixels by height. Until recently, the monitor was only seen as an output device, but now we have touchable screens we can use to input data directly through the monitor. In this case, the monitor becomes both an input and output device. Printers transform the text or images from a computer display to paper, photos, or other physical print media. Many printers use a universal serial bus, or USB cable, to connect to the computer. Wireless printers, on the other hand, connect to the computer through wireless networks. Because wireless printers allow people to print from anywhere on the network and avoid cord clutter, they have grown in popularity. Most home printers are inkjet printers, which spray extremely small droplets of ink onto the paper to create an image. Laser printers are usually seen in companies because of their fast speed and precision. Speakers are the voice of the computer. They are offered in a wide range of quality and price. If you plan to use your computer to watch movies and play games, consider a nice surround sound system. Make sure that you have enough space for this kind of speaker set. because they have to be placed just right to get the best sound. If you only need your speakers to listen to online news and watch internet videos, a simple 2-speaker set is just fine for you. They are designed to fit on a desk with the other part of the computer.
Internal components.
If you are like my friend Ryan, who is curious about what is hiding under the computer box, you're welcome to join us to explore the inside of the computer. Before you open the computer, make sure that you disconnect your computer from the power. Once you open the computer, the first thing you might see is a big board, which holds all the components together. We call it the motherboard, or sometimes the main board. This is an example of a motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board inside the computer. All the other computer parts either sit on the motherboard or connect to it. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. We often describe the CPU as the brain of the computer because it processes all the data and is responsible for everything going on inside the computer. You do not often see the CPU at first sight. It usually hides underneath a cooling fan. The CPU generates a lot of heat, so it is very important to keep it cool.
CPU speed directly affects the performance of the computer. The faster the CPU, the more operations the computer can execute per second. A common measure of CPU speed is the clock rate. Every computer contains an internal clock, which tells us how fast the CPU can process data. The higher the clock rate, the faster the CPU.
Not long ago, the clock speed was measured in millions of cycles per second, or megahertz. Thanks to advancements in technology, CPU speed is now measured in gigahertz, with 1 gigahertz being equal to 1000 megahertz. As technology grows, the clock rate of CPUs also rapidly increases. RAM, or random access memory, is used to temporarily store information for the computer. We say temporarily because once you shut down the computer, all the information in RAM is deleted. RAM is basically the workspace of the computer. Imagine you are working on an art project. The bigger your desk is, the more room you have to work. When you are working on the computer, all the programs are executed in RAM. But wait a second, didn't I just say RAM only stores data temporarily? Do not worry. Once you save your work, the data you have created or changed will be moved from RAM to the hard drive. Or you can choose to keep it in an external storage device, such as a USB flash drive. Once you open a file or a program, the software and data will load from the hard drive back to the RAM.
When a computer with a small amount of RAM tries to run several programs at the same time, each of the programs asks for a certain amount of RAM to run. When the RAM space runs out, the computer will slow down because it needs longer loading time to complete a command. This is why, in a computer with limited RAM, we try to run as few programs as possible at one time. This will significantly speed up the computer.
Within RAM, the smallest unit of storage capacity is a bit, or a binary digit. A bit is either a 0 or a 1. Computers were first used to solve simple math problems by arranging binary digits to represent numbers and operations. Later, this series of zeros and ones even helped put man on the moon. How does the computer do it? Let's start from the beginning. Since a computer uses electrical signals to perform tasks, data must be converted from analog form to digital form. Think of analog data as something people can understand. Letters can form words, words and other characters can form sentences, and sentences can combine to form complete thoughts. However, your computer understands the binary numeral system, which is digital data. A binary system of ones and zeros makes up bits, which open and close electrical circuits. A computer uses these changes in electrical current to understand what you are trying to tell it. A group of 8 bits is called a byte. A byte can hold exactly 1 character or letter. From there, a kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes. A megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobytes. A gigabyte is equal to 1024 megabytes, or 1 billion bytes. In the same token, a terabyte is equal to 1024 gigabytes. When the Apple personal computer was introduced in 1984, it was the first computer that came with 128 kilobytes of memory. Due to advancements in technology, today computers with 2 to 4 gigabytes of RAM are not uncommon. ROM, or read-only memory, is programmed with permanent information. Data stored in ROM cannot be modified. On a PC, the ROM uses the BIOS, which stands for Basic Input-Output System.
BIOS tells the computer what to do when it starts up. Once the computer is turned on, the CPU automatically begins executing instructions located in the BIOS, such as testing the hardware in the machine.
The metal box is called the power supply. Most parts in the computer need electrical power to run. The power supply converts power from the electrical outlet to the lower voltages your computer parts need. The fan on the power supply helps it to cool down. Inside the computer, you can also find various types of cards. Computer cards play the role as translators to convert computer data to digital signals acceptable to output devices such as speakers and monitors. For example, the audio card is responsible for converting information which goes through your computer to audio signals, whether it is a piece of music or a system error warning sound. The video card helps the computer create images which appear on your monitor. We also have a network card and a wireless card. Their job is to allow the computer to connect to the internet. Cables inside the computer are responsible for connecting the different computer parts together.
There are two major types of cables inside the computer: power connectors and storage device cables. Power connectors attach the power supply to the internal devices. Their job is to supply and distribute power to the computer components. Storage device cables, on the other hand, are responsible for transferring data between the motherboard and storage devices. For example, SATA, or the Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, which is this flat cable, connects the hard drive, CD, or DVD-ROM to the motherboard.
Storage devices.
How does a computer store all the data? Let's have a look at the different types of computer storage devices. The hard drive is the main storage device of your computer. Files and programs saved in the hard drive will not get lost, assuming the drive is not damaged. Even after we turn off the computer, all the information saved in the hard drive is still safe. The computer's main hard drive is an internal device because it is located inside the computer. You can also find hard drives which can be removed from the computer. We call those external hard drives or portable hard drives. They are usually referred to as portable devices. The storage capacity for hard drives is measured in gigabytes, that is 1,000 megabytes. It is not uncommon to see personal computers with 1 terabyte hard drive capacity, which is 1,000 gigabytes or 1 million megabytes. As technology evolves, hard drive capacity will continue to increase. The greater the capacity your hard drive has, the more information it can store. Obviously, a computer with a 500 gigabyte hard drive will be able to store twice as much data as the 250 gigabyte hard drive. Storage media are used to store and retrieve data. A CD-ROM, for example, is a common storage medium. CD-ROM stands for Compact Disc Read-Only Memory, meaning the data on CD-ROM can only be accessed but not changed by the users. Because of its read-only feature, we often use the CD-ROM to store permanent data such as computer software, games, and multimedia applications. Recently, DVD-ROM, or Digital Video Disc Read-Only Memory, is being used in more and more computers. Because DVD-ROMs contain much more storage capacity than CD-ROMs, they are used for large applications that require multiple CDs. Another common computer storage device is a USB flash drive. Unlike DVD-ROM, computer users can easily change the content in a flash drive. Flash drives were designed to distribute software, transfer data, and create backups in personal computers. Compared to earlier portable storage devices, such as floppy disks and zip drives, flash drives are smaller, faster, more durable, and provide more storage. USB flash drives range in capacity from 1 to 64 gigabytes. With advancements in technology, USB flash drives will hold more and more information.
Okay, so number 3. Just like human beings, computers communicate through receiving and sending messages. We refer to these message receiving components as what? Input and output. So is your monitor an input or an output? It's output. But if it's a touch screen like ours are touch screen, it can be both, can it? What about the printer? Is it input or output? Because it's taking something out. Okay. All keyboards are made up of the main typing area, the function keys, and the control keys. Most desktop and some larger laptop computers, keyboards contain a what?
10 key numbers.
And we have them, you all have them on your keypad, right? You all have those on your keypads. Do the Chromebooks don't, do they?
No.
No.
They only have the top.
They only have the top, so if you're going to use numbers, you have to use the top. Okay, number 5. Like a mouse, a touchpad is a pointing device. It features a what? Tactile, and that just means you can feel it. Tactile sensor, which can translate the motion of your fingers to movement on the screen. So do y'all like the touchpad on the Chromebooks?
No.
I can't, it drives me crazy. I like to use a mouse because my fingers just don't, for some reason, just don't work right on that. But some people, that's all they, my daughter, that's all she wants to use on her Mac is the, yeah, I'm a mouse person, I guess. Okay, but you don't have the option to have a mouse on your Chromebook, do you?
You can hook a mouse in.
You can hook it in. Okay. Number 6, LED monitors take advantage of what?
Light emitting diode.
Light emitting diodes technology, which provides better quality images. So years ago, computer screens didn't look so good until they came out with this. Now they're, very clear and plain.
More bright. More bright.
Yeah.
I remember my old computer and it was like it got dull after a while.
Yeah. Old computers would come a long way. Number 7, many printers use a what?
USB.
A USB. It stands for Universal Serial Bus or USB cable to connect to the computer. That's what I have to the TV is a USB. Number 8, once you open the computer, the first thing you see is a big board which holds all the components together. We call that the what?
Motherboard.
Or sometimes it's the main board. So where's the motherboard in these computers?
Probably take that off.
They're streamlined, right? That we don't have a big monitor open, but we have all the stuff that's supposed to be in there is. These are fancy computers, right? Fancy computers. Okay, number 9. Every computer contains an internal clock which tells us how fast the CPU can process data. The higher the what?
Clock rate.
Clock rate, the faster the CPU. Once you open a file or program, the software and data will load from the what?
Hard drive.
Hard drive back to the RAM. On a PC, personal computer, the what stores the BIOS or the input-output system? ROM. R-O-M, ROM. Number 12, the what converts power from the electrical outlet to the lower voltages your computer parts need? The power supply. We all have power supply to our computers. They're kind of hidden down here in the
What converts
underneath power supply. They're like down here in these little slots in the back. So they're not on the ground where we're kicking them. 13, we also have a what card and a what card?
I think there's one with the wireless.
A network card and a wireless card. And that allows the computer to connect to the internet. And number 14, what attaches the power supply to the internal devices?
Storage device cables.
It's number 14.
Oh,
Power
okay.
connectors. Power connectors attach the power supply to the internal devices. Their job is to distribute and supply and distribute power to the computer network or the computer components. Number 15. Storage device cables, on the other hand, are responsible for transferring data between the motherboard and the storage device. And then number 16, the computer's main hard drive is what?
An internal device.
Internal device, because it is located where?
Inside the computer.
Inside the computer. So a lot of things goes into running a computer. So before, the first computer was when?
A long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago, 1984.
Oh, 1984, oh. That wasn't long ago at all.
Storage device cable. That wasn't that long
Not
ago.
really, no.
No. So when did the man land on the moon for the first time? 69. So how'd they do that without computers?
They had computers.
We didn't have personal computers, but they had. But it was very, very different from our computers. So it really is amazing that they were able to do that with what they had available to them. It really was.